Is that actually Oliveira's ID in game? Yeah, okay, then I guess it doesn't matter. Alrighty, then let's turn some health bars on. And with some health bars turned on, we can get into it. NightMare in the bottom right is going to be our red Protoss player from Korea, of course. Taking on the blue Terran in the top left. This is Oliveira. So game number 1 of a best of 5 series in this winner bracket final. Again, NightMare beating out Bjorn. I think that's a pretty impressive result, honestly. So gets me excited to see what he can do against Oliveira, who had to struggle through stats, but stats has been playing great lately as well. So that's also very exciting. Just have the racks, the refinery, all this coming up, so we get all that underway. And whoa, Ian, thank you so much. Starting the day off bright and early with a good bunch of subs, gifting them out to Lambo, a little bit dicey, Diego, Shrek is God, and Dead Afanas. Thank you so much for the generosity, mate. I appreciate the subs, especially in this ESL period where obviously I can't stream as much because I'm doing a bunch of ESL days. So I still really obviously appreciate the subs going through. Thank you so very much. Gexy as well, hitting the 13-month resub on the Prime. Thank you so much as well. Appreciate that also. Thank you so much. SCV's going to come over. I'm just going to nibble down and pick off that probe again. This SCV going to build a command center. So CC will start to come up. The orbital command's still coming through. The Reaper is about to be done in a couple moments as well. Rolling Thunder going to hit us with a tier 3 on 44-month resub. All the subs are rolling in. Hello, guys. Thank you so much. It's going to be Xena Reaper coming about. Nexus, Adept, Warp Gate coming up. How's that, Reaper? Just continues to scatter around. Nexus is already on the way, so we got the Nexus on the way. Twilight Council is building as well. Again, Bunker is still building. A couple CCs are coming through. We have our Nexus dropping down and a reactor in a bunker. Like I say, coming up at home. So Oliveira should be pretty darn safe. There should not really be too many problems in that regard. Shouldn't be anything too problematic with that. Ring comes over. We're not going to see the CC just going to be allowed to get up and running here, so that seems to be going up no problems. And Blink is on the way as well from NightMare, so looking to bring that through as a couple more barracks start up from Oliveira. So we're going to go pretty bio-heavy to start this off. It is 3 CC, but then the bio-heavy follow-up behind it, so big economy and then lots of just early kind of cheaper units, which can obviously be pretty overwhelming and pretty powerful as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira tried to fake out a little bit of pressure at some point because he's going to have a lot of those units. But obviously he's not actually going to have too many because the reality of the situation, looking back on it, is that he's going to have... Yeah, I mean, the reality of the situation, I guess, is that he is going to have himself a... like a lot of units, but they're not going to actually be as many as he should need to kind of overwhelm because of that third CC, so it puts in a bit of an interesting place. Mills drop down, Stimpack still coming up, Blink is on the way, a couple more Stalkers get warped in as well. Stimpack, Combat Shield both coming up, the Engineering Bay is over halfway done as well, Pylon and a couple more Simulators coming out. And we just have the Adeptus back down to the low ground, Mobs coming up. Gonna be having our bunker coming through too. Stim combat +1 again, a bit of everything coming up right now. Just gonna have ourselves the submarine coming about also. I mean, really, this is just a waiting game. Does Oliveira move out at all once he gets some in combat shields? I mean, like I said, I was expecting at least a little bit of a fake move out, but nothing so far. Of a Nexus down. And combat shield's about to finish, plus one attack's halfway done. And we have ourselves a robot bay coming up. NightMare obviously has, showed up on the other side with these few stalkers, but hasn't really committed to doing anything. So, not really much coming out of that for the moment. Let's continue to settle in. The long haul of this game, I mean, obviously the Bioforce is now, teched up with his upgrades, but I can't imagine we're going to get across the map super successfully, especially as NightMare dives in immediately with these stalkers, comes straight through. Gets a reactor, a couple of SCVs, recalls out. Good way to buy time, just a few extra seconds towards getting the Colossus up. Fire comes from the main, moves out down to the low ground, again extends them a lance and charge. Continuing in as well, you get a few probes and zealots and a couple gateways all coming out. So all of that still being brought through as this observer continues to move around here. For a few more moments as well. Still got a +1 about to finish up, and these stalkers going to be able to get rid of one of those marauders too. Just going to grab that. Stalker's coming down, just going to be again getting a couple kills right there. And just going to be seeing still charge coming in. Extend thermal lances over halfway. A couple more sentries are coming out also, so just get those sentries coming. The forges are building. Army of NightMare is back out to the center. So again, sentries, Colossus, the zealots all gathering together here just for the moment. So everything's joining up, and we do have this push coming across. I mean, I actually don't think this is a good time for NightMare to be pushing right now. Honestly, NightMare's position, his work count is not that great. His tech count is not amazing. I mean, definitely not the moment to try and push a fight. I mean, obviously, sure, if you're like, okay, well, I've got the sentries, maybe I can do something with these, then maybe that'd be okay. Plus I fire, a couple Marines going to be firing up, Marauder's going to come in as well, so we are going to get a little bit of a move along. Colossi will fire back a little bit. Medevac's low, just going to boost all the way over that right-hand side. Again, a couple Colossi, Zealots, and all the rest coming over. And we do have ourselves the 1-1 upgrades coming through from NightMare as well, so bring that 1-1 up, the Nexus. About to finish, Robo Facility coming through. Still got that Ghost Academy halfway done from Oliveira, so that's a big tech in the right direction for him as well. Obviously, Ghost do a lot for him, as he's just going to run into this natural before the army's back home. I was going to say a Warping could block it, and that's exactly what NightMare does, just to force the lift off and make sure he gets the cleanup on this without any further problems. Nicely handled. As yo, Drenocide, thank you so much as well for the 15-month resub. Welcome back. Day of resubs today, apparently. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Sporting. As we just have ourselves the Ghosts and the Vikings and the Barracks all continue through. And again, NightMare is on his way to Disruptor, so has definitely gotten to the point where he's increasing the amount of army he's had available. And the tech in that army as well, especially, is obviously a big factor here for the Protoss player. You see the bio coming back over to the left-hand side just for a few moments. And yeah, just keep moving one way then the other. Big group of Zealots, handful of Stalkers and Sentries all with that as well. 2 more Disruptors still building up from NightMare. It's a good chunk of bio moving back towards the 3rd base, and these Vikings are going to come overhead. He's going up with the Medivacs and the rest of the bio and the Ghosts as well, so all of that joins in. Again, no one really committing to the larger fights. We're just looking for these kind of opportunities, these counterattacks, these ways to slip around the map. That seems to be the majority of everything that we're going for right now. This Disruptor's actually going to walk forward into a Widowmine shot. The single Marine gets a kill because of the Widowmine hit. Oh my goodness, that was a loss of a Disruptor. As, whoa, Oliveira, he was kind of thinking of going in from 2 sides, and just as he was, he saw the Zealot run by top side, so he decides to pull back and to go deal with that. Knowing he can probably delay the push in from his opponent, he can go for the pincer move a bit later. He was absolutely about to go for it. He'd even stimmed, but like I say, then he realized what was going on back on his base, And he went to go and fix that rather than anything else, as we do see Oliveira up an upgrade right now. Is going to be a little bit quicker to +2 armor as well, so also worth keeping in mind. Big set of EMPs going down on that army. We are going to be seeing the disruptors coming through. And landing on a bunch of these marauders. This is a full surround on the Protoss force, but do we have the DPS to get rid of the tech units that's going to allow you to stay alive here? We lose the army on the right side as Oliveira, but he's going to be able to keep pushing through. The Stalker's now dropping down. This Disruptor will be chased and killed. That's going to be a huge cleanup from Oliveira as he comes through in a big way to shut down everything there. That is massive. 1+3 still halfway done. We got ourselves Marauders, Marines, Ghosts, Vikings. Continuing up as well. A couple more Disruptors are still popping out. The 2-2 upgrades are about to be finished also. And a few more Zealots also producing on through. Obviously, just got to rebuild a lot of that tech. Both players took some fairly big hits there, but I do look back on it and think, well, you know, 5 Disruptors and 3 Colossi died. That is a huge amount of loss to the Protoss player. And those units are so essential to being successful further on, although right now, maybe just a lack of numbers here for Oliveira. We were trying to get the Planetary, though, and that's so much wasted damage output. He put so much damage onto the Planetary, and then the Planetary is just going to get repaired. It never gets taken down. That is a huge loss. That's a real shame. Rip. Now that does actually suck a little bit as 3-3 continues through, and as we get that 3-3 up, we'll see what the next step of this may turn out to be. Having our Zealot getting pushed away once again by the Planetary Fortress this time, so that's just going to get pushed over to the right-hand side, so they get chased away as well. Well, I mean, Oliveira's hanging in there, both players are hanging in there. This is very much so a competitive game, no one really having a huge upper hand over the opponent for now. Let's see everything gathering back up. This army back into the center of the map is going to be actually trying to jump on this little bit of bio to the left-hand side, looking for some opportunity here, and honestly might be able to get something from it. Chance to deal some damage absolutely seems available. So Stalkers, Disruptors all moving through. Back to the center. Bioforce still on the move a little bit, and we are going to see a little bit of a dive in, jumping onto some of these Stalkers and all the rest of it. I'm just going to see the Disruptors coming through as well, and I mean, Oliveira is now trying to come down this side ramp from the right-hand side to do something about those Disruptors, but he got caught by a Disruptor shot, so that does not go well for him. And we see another Disruptor shot flying through, not quite landing on anything. And the Stalker Disruptor force back into the bottom left. We're going to keep a move along. We keep moving across right now. In the end, NightMare ends up backing away. Oliveira will continue to press through, and it cleans a little bit out on the right-hand side. Both players are still maxed out. This is very much so still, very much so, a competitive game. No one is really taking the huge upper hand, the huge edge over the opponents. This is a very playable game on both sides. No one's going anywhere yet, as now Zealot Stalker, though, about to get on top of this Bioforce. Going to grab a Ghost, going to blink on top of the Vikings, taking out a bunch of these. Another couple of EMPs come down. Zealots take some pretty hefty shots, and we'll once again see ourselves NightMare relocating around the right-hand side. It's just going to come through again. That's going to be a missile turret that we're going to be able to get to grab as well. So taking out big, important tech structures at this stage. Let's just have another Disruptor shot up north. Now, Oliveira, again, staying split in two different areas, is absolutely finding success from that. He is able to minimize a lot of the effectiveness of all of this so far, and again, give himself some continued chances in this game. Not letting this all slip away just yet. Keeping this as under control as we can for now. More shots just coming through. I'm actually going to be seeing this Protoss army starting to dig into this base. Well, supply lead goes into NightMare's favor. I feel like he's just getting to the point where he's just had tech hitting so consistently that Oliveira really just continues to run into trouble against it. The Liberators are going to try and siege up right now as well, but not completely sure that they are going to be able to see the success that they're wanting to. Stalker's still underneath, getting rid of all these Liberators. We've got one Colossus still in the back, whacking away. Extra Disruptors and Zealots are going to come through very shortly as well, but that's just going to be enough. NightMare is going to have the numbers to take out a game number 1 here, and we'll do just that. Off in the top right corner of the map, with the red Protoss player who has taken a 1-0 lead, it is NightMare. His opponent in the bottom left side will be the blue Terran. Dragon Kaiser Gaming, it's Oliveira. So game number 2. Let's see if NightMare can keep up the performance. I mean, it was a funky start. Like I said, there was a lot of fights in that last game where I personally felt as though we were kind of going to have a game-ending fight a lot sooner than we did. But obviously just never really came around, so obviously excited to see what we have this time as we get this up and running. Did I see the controversy about the admin redoing the fight in the Lambo match? I actually did not see that. Was that an ESL yesterday when he played Christiana? What happened? It was bad? Like, how did I not see this? Was this not on Reddit or anything? I did not see this at all, which I'm kind of surprised about. Usually I'm always got my ears to the ground for the drama, you know? Christiana said he had lag after finally regamed the fight. Ay. I thought it was really weird when they made Lambo and Uthermal regame as well. They I don't think that's a problem, but then in the rules it says the game can either be rehosted from replay or it can be regamed depending on whether significant action has happened. But the thing is, like, when, like, surely a significant action is, you know, when the random player is playing, is that their race has been selected for them. So that's a significant action that you should always resume the replay from. Instead, they force Uthermal to play Terran, which then, obviously, they forced Uthermal to play Terran on a new game, which means that Lambo can then pick and choose his build, which he wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. That was a really weird one. Like, I understand where they were coming from with the rules, because I asked about it, and they linked me the rules, and I was like, well, yeah, but surely a significant action in the build is literally any part of the build when you're playing against a random player, versus now when you're going to force them to regame as a Terran? Yeah, I thought that was crazy. So yeah, I really thought that was a crazy one, although that was not really as influential as what this sounds like. It's wild, man. All these StarCraft events have official rules. I'm out here being like, you know, I make up my rules on the spot. The beauty of being an unofficial small tournament organizer. So beautiful, guys. So beautiful. Good life. Well, we have just continued to get established here. I've not really mentioned much about this game. If you look at the units lost, we lost a couple of units early. Defense was there from Oliveira. He's now coming across the map with this medevac, which is including a Cyclone. This gives you a bit of pressure against the Phoenix. Now, generally, the Phoenix would lift up that Cyclone to remove the damage output of it, but that hasn't happened there, so that's a little bit funky. So just going to be seeing the Adept's going to get there, pick off that Marine. A couple more SCVs coming about. Viking tank all on the way. So just a lot of different bits and pieces continue to be brought through for now as this medevac continues back down to the bottom left-hand side. So it's going to try and retake position back at home and just get reset over there. Phoenix continue across. The Marines and the Cyclone. The Reaper as well, all hanging out on this high ground. This is going to get rid of one Marine, and we are going to be able to just do a little bit extra. The medevac will take some damage once more as the Cyclone and the Marine all continues to come about, the extra barracks and so on. Just coming through as we go 4 extra barracks here from Oliveira. So 2 bases to 5 racks. He's going to play 2 base here on Crimson Court. So very aggro. Oliveira just looking to bring this fight. The robot bay is halfway done. Gateway and the Nexus coming through. Mortal coming up. So I see the few Adepts going to try and shade in here, so they're going to threaten the shades, and they actually are going to split. They're not going to go though. Too many units chasing them down. It's just not likely you're going to really get anything out of that before you get shut down already, so that gets cleaned up pretty swiftly in the end. It's just going to fire away. Medevac is going to be taking some shots again. Colossus, extended thermal lance coming about as well. Phoenix back up into the upper right-hand side, having another little look around. Again, Phoenix, extended thermal lance, continue to come through for the moment. All of that coming in. Again, the +1 attack and stim continue to come through. And the medevac still building, the tank and a few Marines are coming out. Just seeing the charge on the way as well with an extended thermal lance. Obviously, game slows at this point until it is time for Oliveira to just send this. I mean, 2 basin against Phoenix Colossus is scary. You're so reliant on these siege tanks connecting well. If these tanks do not do you justice, you're just in so much trouble. I mean, there's just no 2 ways about that, so. More Phoenix shots. The SCVs are pulling. I mean, we are going to be completely committed. We very much so knew that this was the case, so away we go. Marines coming across. The SCVs are moving. And you have the Phoenix still overhead. We push up. Warp Gate's going to take damage. Colossi coming through, firing up some shots as well. I mean, we do have the tank sieging up on this bottom side. A couple of Warp Gates going to get hit and taken out. Obviously, you would imagine time is kind of your friend for NightMare here, because given time, he gets more units up to defend against this. He's going to come in. He lifts every single tank of the Phoenix. Well, how do you get rid of the Colossus if all the tanks are in the sky? Well, he's done okay on the ground otherwise, though. And now as the Colossus are being shelled by tanks, 2 of them live, but actually, there's just so much bio left over. Now the Zelds are coming through, starting to get on top of these siege tanks as well. My goodness, it's been kind of a wild one. It looks as though Oliveira has indeed done enough, though, and the GG will have to be called. That will be Oliveira tying things up 1-1. Stream comes back on, it doesn't reset my ads because I have like 30 minutes of ad time built up. But knowing Twitch, it's going to reset the ad time, and that's going to suck. And then we're going to have ads through the start of this game, which I can't do anything about, so I'll just say sorry. Let's get it in number 3. NightMare on the upper left-hand side. It will be in the bottom right-hand side, the Blue Terran player Oliveira. To get this up and running, we get this started. We look to see what is going to go down. Yep. Twitch reset my ads. Honestly, this is the dumbest thing of all time. It's like, hey, you just ran like the ads you were meant to run for the next hour, and then you went offline for 20 seconds. We don't think you ever ran those ads. Like, what? Twitch, please? I really thought they'd fix this by now, but like, this has been like a thing for like a year and a half at this point. Alright. Back at it then, guys. Sorry, didn't realize we needed stream delay. Kind of assumed we don't run with delay on most things nowadays. Way to get back at it. Factory coming up on the side of Oliveira. And again, the cyber core. Obviously, will show us some of this tech here in a couple of moments. And the Reaper starts to move out onto the map. So it's going to start moving the Reaper out to the upper left-hand side. So that's going to move across as well. As I do have the factory, the reactor, all of that coming through. The SCV continues to come about. Obviously, with the factory coming up early, we will see a little bit more of the aggressive side of things from Oliveira, but it's not uncommon for a Terran to play the factory, then go into the expansions. This is really not too ludicrous of a plan thus far. As the Reaper comes back around up to the top side, and away it goes. So it's just going to go moving about over there. Once while that council's over halfway done, the warp gate's still about halfway done as well. And just have the Adept still chilling. He's going to get a starboard coming by. Adept going to fire up a few shots onto this depot, so damage being dealt. Depot taking shots. Nothing too major, obviously just trying to scout. And does see the Widowmine popping. Ooh, just about managed to get away there. Actually felt as though for a moment or two we might not get away, which obviously would have been a rather costly experience. But you know, turns out to be all good at the end. So at the end of the world, on we go. Into this game 3, of course, tied up 1-1. Series on the line. And the best of 5. Well, I guess not series on the line yet, but getting to that point whenever this gets onto match point. Again, win this, you get to go to the winner bracket, the grand final, with a 1-0 lead in that grand final later today. Let's just see the medevac loading up, and we are going to go just shooting across to the upper side. So away we go. Again, looking going to get something done there. Big boost up to the top. Away we go. Widowmine gets burrowed here as well. Still got the blink and the gateway coming through, and the Liberator, the tank, a couple more Marines on the way out also. So again, we just bring all of this through for the moment. The Marines will unload in the corner, and that's going to be a couple of these probes getting shot at. It's going to retarget a couple times over, and I love that. Obviously, again, the more time you buy where these probes have to be pulled away, the better it's going to typically end up for you. That's 3 workers killed. However, we do have an Adept or 2 in here to get some SCVs in return, so at least we're undoing some of the damage taken. NightMare at least evening the playing field a little bit early on. As yo, thank you so much, Matt Alien, 49 months resubscribing. Thank you so much, appreciate it, and hope you're doing amazingly. Thank you so much for the 49. Passing that 4-year marker and keeping it going. Thank you. As Siege Tank and our Marines gather on the natural. And a single Adept there moving about a little bit as well. Few Stalkers still coming over. And again, Tank, Marines, SCVs, bit of everything coming through just for the moment. So bringing up a whole bunch of that as this tank gets set to siege up as well. As Adept moves up the ramp, thinks about what it would like to do. Stalkers blink across. They're going to get rid of that medevac, and now a few of these Marines begin to get shot down as well, but only after they get rid of a few more probes. Target finder was good from Oliveira to make the most of that situation, and absolutely just trying to get the utmost out of it. Power charge still coming up. The Nexus continues by. The probe is on the way. Also, a couple more barracks in production. So all of that comes in for the moment. As we have ourselves a group of gateways in the main base, also just getting dropped into play right here. As we see ourselves a CC producing on the side of Oliveira. Now, Widowmine actually is able to go and pick off a Stalker in the process as well, so Another nice little grab amongst all of this. Stalkers will sit out in the front and await their opportunity to maybe try and get something done. The +1 attack coming through, the extra barracks all coming in. Let's get all of this up and online. Very comfortably for the moment, realistically, as and that charge is about to be done. And the Temple Archives will be done from NightMare, giving him that access to the tech. So he will be gaining choices here. He's gaining options over the next little while as Step +1 both continuing. Summon Combat and the +1s, all and bio upgrades are going to make this so powerful. Of course, Oliveira with the 3rd CC this time, so he's not going to be as aggressive as he was back in game number 2 with that 2 base 5 racks. He'll have the 3rd CC, he will have economy behind this, he will be looking to take a base for himself in the near future, so Oliveira sets up for that. That's NightMare. Again, gets that storm on the way, it's about halfway done here already. And yeah, a couple more High Templars continue to warp in along with everything else, so and all those High Templars up, getting that storm brought through, that's about halfway done, just for the moment. Another command center gets set to go down. Orbital will land over here. A few more of these is gonna units is gonna be moving about, getting settled in for now. Get that all set up. Now NightMare positioning to kind of get aggressive here, so he does have the High Templars in the Prism, so they're going to make a move forward. Look for some good storms. Zealot's coming in from the top side, make this pretty neat as well. Makes it difficult for Oliveira to find a good position to kind of move about it. So you can see the Stalkers coming through, knock down the Lib, knock down the Siege Tank. And this really was across the board a pretty good attack from NightMare. Man, he just absolutely dismantles any semblance of a defense here from Oliveira. And just like that, we are going to go to a 2-1 lead. Take a while to come through. There was a while where Terran seemed to really love this map, and people vetoed this quite a bit against Terran. I think that might have been more TVZ, but yeah, it feels like right now it is just the absolute go-to. You go to this map, you know what you get, you know what's going to happen, you know it's going to be part of the series as well, so everyone knows all these things. There's NightMare's in the bottom right. Oliveira is in the upper left-hand side. Man, deadly stuff from NightMare, just getting himself the army up, getting himself ready to go, and boom, fires the bullet. Storms all over that army of Oliveira, so he takes some big shots, some big losses. That's a pretty big deal, I would say, all said and done. Proby wanders over to the right-hand side. We do have the gateway, the assimilator coming about, so just gonna solve some of the initial setup, but it will take a little while to continue with this. Well, that's the Cybercore. There's going to be a Zealot for the moment as well, so we just get that started out. Just get that underway. And next, dropping in, Cybercore's about halfway done. Just get ourselves the Orbital, the Reaper, all coming through, Command Center coming about as well, so a little bit of everything being brought into play right now. Got a little bit of everything on the go for the moment. Just waiting for the tech choice. Once the tech choice is made, we can maybe talk a bit more about what we expect. I mean, we've seen kind of a good variety of openers at this point from NightMare. Against Colossus, some Blink stuff, into Quicker Storm, and so on. So Reaper's still moving up around the top here, and we do have the factory is about halfway done. needs to make its way to the upper left-hand side, so hoping for something there. Is again the factory number 2, factory and a second barracks. Barracks number 2 is on the way, so we're going to see the double racks play already. So quite biocentric from Oliveira. I just feel as though that's when Oliveira finds his best kind of plays, and obviously game 2 against NightMare as well was an example of that. Just kind of heavier bio counts, very aggressive. To me, that's the Oliveira kind of style. That's what he won his world championship on the back of as well. A couple Marines still move about here, so they're going to get a move along. I'm just going to have ourselves the blink coming through as well, so we get that started. Warp gate is about to finish. The robot facility is coming through. Again, Stimpack on the way here from Oliveira as well, so we get Stimpack started up. A couple more Marines coming about. The SCVs also. Barracks on the main base is about to finish. And the Reaper, the Cyclone, gathering together. It's going to be seeing the Adept at least finding a couple of shots, and it's going to get pushed back on to actually win that fight, of course. But not bad to see it still being active, just trying to find a couple of openings, trying to find a little bit of something here or there. So got that blink coming by. Again, Obs coming up with the Stimpack and Combat Shield continuing through as well. So again, a bit of everything being set up for the moment as Marines and the Siege Tank come through from Oliveira. And he gets those bio upgrades. You gotta wonder, does he have a push in mind? You know, tank count is rising. Only thing missing, a starport, right? So you're not going to be able to do anything with the, you know, medevac support. So that is maybe one slight concern here for Oliveira. I'd say it's pretty much the only concern for Oliveira, really, at this current point in time. And Stalkers are going to get pushed back. Oliveira, no third CC. If he wants to take a third, you would probably do it alongside his move out, so you can just build it on location. And we are going to start moving right now. Stim's about to be done. The Stalker's looking for damage around the back. You know, there's only 2 tanks. If you even get some damage on some of those tanks right now, it could be really incredible just to slow your opponent down. Just one more thing to think about. Some Marines come across, playing cleanup right there. Force continues through, and we do have the tanks half HP on one of them. I mean, we're going to arrive, see no third base. I think the moment there's no third base, you just run the hell away, no? We're really going to send this. I mean, it takes 2 extra gases. I mean, no third, it just means there's going to be a lot of units, and we have charge about to be done. To me, charge is obviously going to improve this in a big way, but it's not ready yet, and these Zealots are dying. Obviously, the problem is going to be if you don't have enough Zealots ever alive, then charge doesn't really matter. One Immortal popping out, that's going to be putting in some work. The Stalkers getting pushed away. But more Stalkers just blinking through there, just to chase things out at the very end. And +1 attack and concussive shells building up. The additional barracks and the starport finally on the way in the main. You guys notice what's missing though, right? It's a third CC. We're still not seeing that. So Oliveira is going to continue to be on 2 bases here, and only 2 bases. It's kind of rough, no? Not pretty. And so my bio here going to get rid of this Stalker. Push this away. I mean, we're just going to send it as Oliveira. I'm just not sure how much confidence I have in the full send. After round 1 on the other side didn't exactly do too much. I feel as though the next step of this is not exactly looking to do too much either. Fire out the front here, just going to see the starport move across to the reactor. Another barracks will go down. Storm is over halfway done, still got the Nexus building as well. Templar's immortal. No zealot. Need to take position here. Just gonna be seeing our stalkers getting pushed back. Tanks as well. Bioforce coming through. I fire it up again. Chase those stalkers out of here. We do have the few extra zealots getting warped in as well. Nexus still coming online. You have so many SCVs. Oh my goodness. So many SCVs coming across. Zealots already flanking this army in. Oliveira does have a 20 army supply lead. Fighting in the open obviously means the tanks may not siege the Zealots. Maybe get a good chance. The storms are absolutely disgusting. Holy crap. Might be some of the best storms we'll see today. That was disgusting storms. Honestly, probably saved NightMare. He was still a bit down in army supply after that. Got rid of all those SCVs extremely easily, obviously. Wow, GG's. NightMare just storms the man to death. God damn it. Can we just, you know what? We're just going to take a little rewind on this. We're just going to have one quick extra peek at these storms because it was that disgusting. Ugh, moment too late. Thank you. And don't get me wrong, it's mostly SCVs, but there's a lot of bio in here as well. And he gets to storm the tanks, but just softens them up for everything else, right? Like, yeah, it is mostly SCVs, but obviously as well, like, you're also aiming to get rid of the SCVs because the SCVs do provide you a tougher time given time. Because the SCVs are going to be what kind of soak up all the other damage. So, actually, pretty nutty to get that as, yeah.